Hey there, lovely people. My name is Oldjohn-Tsindi, a holistic wellness coach and accredited meditation practitioner, and an author of two amazing books called The Journey and Confessions. And welcome to my YouTube channel. I haven't been posting a lot of videos because your coach is very busy, guys, you know. But anyway, today I want us to talk about the healing that South Africa needs, or Black people in particular need. You know, guys, we cannot turn a blind eye to what is currently happening in South Africa and in the world at large. I mean, there is a man who has been killed in America, a Black man who has been killed in America. And, you know, Black people are tired of how we have been treated, you know, how white people in particular have been treating us. And coming to South Africa, we have a woman who has been killed, actually hanged on a tree whilst pregnant, and was killed with obviously her child. And it's actually very touching. It's a very touching story. And when you think about it, you cannot say, oh, just because it's not happening to me, so I cannot say anything about it. But today I want us to talk about what is currently happening, especially in South Africa. I'm going to specifically talk about South Africa, but this is happening all over the world, right? So in South Africa, we have a problem since, you know, in the 1800s that there is a violence that is happening from you know, a gender violence. So men feel superior than women and they beat them up, and you know, it has been happening. It's just that right now in South Africa and in the whole wide world, we have social media which can expose this type of things. But there are people back in the days when there was no WhatsApp, when there was no Facebook, that witnessed their parents being beaten to death. Not so long ago, I saw a story, a show of a guy who is about 30 or 35, who saw his mother being beaten by his father. So what happened there is that the father beat the mother up until the mother was bleeding with the nose and the ears. And up until today, they do not know if the mother, by that time, the child was 4. The guy was 4 years of age. And they don't know if the mother passed away or where is the mother. They don't know. The law cannot also assist them with this story in particular. And it's so sad because this has been happening in our families, has been happening, even though it didn't happen in your family, but we have seen it going next door. We have seen it all over the world that men and women have not been treated equally, to such an extent that we also have women who are abusing men. You know, it's such a traumatic situation that we are currently going through. And Malebo, me, as a victim of sexual abuse, I know the pain. I know the pain that people are going through, that families are going through at this time and in this moment. So what do we do? A lot of people have asked me, why is it that I do not open a case for the person who raped me? And the question that I asked is that, what is it going to help me with? And they said, maybe he has raped other people and he has to pay for what he did. And then going to jail is not going to bring back my virginity. Going to jail is not if he did that to other people, he is not going to bring back what he has done to them. So what is it that we need in this world as Black people? And I'm talking to South Africans in particular. What do we need? I see a lot of people, both men and women, are going for a march. But do we think that a march can help us with what we are currently going through? I do not think so. That is the reason why I do not think that even jail can solve the problem that we have. I have spoken to a lot of people who have raped people, particularly raping and murdering people. And in their conscious mind, they do not know what happened. It is like there was a spirit during that time that let them do those type of things. And this is what I want us to talk about in particular, because Africa and Black people need healing. So here's the thing. There is what we call a pain body. So pain body is an accumulated pain, whether in the past or in the present, that people haven't dealt with. So a pain body comes with a geographical location, and there is a personal pain body. But today I'm going to talk about the geographical location of the reason why South Africa is in this mess. So we are suffering from an inner pain. So this pain body is an inner pain. It's a deep inner pain that you cannot feel on your body, but it is deep within you. And the pain body that South Africa has was caused by apartheid. The apartheid system, when good people came from wherever they were coming from to come to Africa to come and take what we call the African treasure, the African wealth. In that moment, a whole lot of things happened. There were women who were raped by these people, by these clever people. There were people who were raped in front of their husbands. The husband could witness their wives being raped by another person, which is these good people that came to sort of solve anything and everything that we as Africans couldn't do. So here's the thing. We are carrying a pain within us that we need to heal from. Our parents, our forefathers, our great-grandparents, our ancestors, their spirit are still in pain right now, because that pain that was inflicted in them has never been resolved. Nobody has taken up a chance and saying, I am going to go into a deep healing, to cleanse myself from the spirit of our ancestors, of our parents, of whoever was here before us, who has endured this traumatic situation. And like I said, because of a geographical location, because of where you are, when you are born as a child, you come and you take up whatever is in that area. Look at how colors were brought into this world. Colors were brought, if we read the history books, colors were brought here because of white people raping black women. And we see that most colors, not all of them, but most colors are very violent people, because they sucked violence from the time they came here. So what we are going through as Africans and as Black people in South Africa is a pain body that we have incurred, we have taken because of what happened to the people who lived here before us. Nothing was ever resolved. Nothing at all was ever resolved. What happened is that there was a change of government in 1994 when the Black people now were given power. But the healing never happened. The healing never happened to us as Black people. And today, this is the results of what happened many years ago. These are the results of what happened 1800 years ago. And when we see a man being very violent towards a woman, we are seeing the action of a man. But what is currently happening is the pain body that lives inside of that man. Men, Black men, have been taught to be violent. I mean, if you see your wife being raped in front of you, do you know what that does psychologically? Do you know what happens to a person when they experience somebody they love so much being raped in front of them? I mean, my family are not taking it well for the fact that I was raped, but they were not there. So imagine a person who has witnessed that. So a pain body, it's an inner pain of accumulated, the repetition of pain that nobody has ever healed. That is why there are quotes that say, when you heal yourself, you heal your bloodline. because our bloodline are in so much pain. The spirit of our ancestors are in so much pain. And it is up to us as Africans, as Black South Africans, to go into a process of healing. It is up to us as Black women and men to go into a process of healing. Unfortunately, guys, when somebody inflicts pain in you, it is not their responsibility to come and say, can you please go into healing? It's not going to happen. Today we are waiting for white people to say they were sorry for what they did. But unfortunately, in the process of us waiting, we are losing our brothers. We are losing our sisters. We are losing our children. So when somebody inflicts pain in you, it is your responsibility to go and seek healing. And that's what I did. After living for so many years, being raped, the psychological damage that that person did, I had to say, I am ready for healing. And this is what South Africa needs. We need healing. We need mental healing, and we need spiritual healing. And until we can accept that whatever actions that are happening, a person who is well here wouldn't kill another person. It doesn't matter what they did to them. That woman who was hanged, I'm not speaking that that person shouldn't go to jail or something, but in his conscious mind, he won't do that. But there is an inner pain, something inside of him that is driving him to that. And that inner pain is what our spirit of our ancestors have endured. We are experiencing it now. Black men were taught violence. Black men and women were taught violence. We were taught so many traumatic things that we are currently experiencing in our families. And it is up to us. It is up to us that we heal our nation. Because unfortunately, some people, they were very clever than us. They came and take everything. And also not only to take, but to cause so much sadness in our communities. Our uncles, our brothers, our cousins. We hear them, they are locked up in jail because of this violence. A friend of mine not so long ago was telling me that her niece is struggling with depression to a point that she becomes so suicidal and she cuts herself. And I also deal with people who are dealing with depression. But what I told her is that, you know, when you feel a pain, when you have a headache, you know that, I have a headache. But when you have a pain inside of you that you cannot locate which part of you is painful, then that's an inner pain. And that is the reason why they're cutting themselves. The reason why she's cutting herself is because she wants to feel that pain that she's feeling on the inside of her. Guys, let us be observant of the fact and the patterns that have been happening. Our parents were beaten up by our fathers. And now our sisters are being killed by these very same people, men. And what we see is only action. We only see the action that, men are killing women. But we don't know that actually men were taught this thing. Black people were taught violence. And it is time for us to heal. And I am saying to you at home, let us get into a deep cleansing, healing of the spiritual and of the spiritual being, which is us, and also the mental being. The things that our parents, our forefathers have seen. Let us get into that healing. We have a vast institutions, spiritual institutions that can help us with this. Men, I encourage you that you, even in your campaigns of marching to the union buildings, I encourage you, for people who are operating from a higher level of consciousness, people who are saying we cannot be killing our brothers, our sisters, and our children. I urge you to understand the topic of an inner pain, understand the topic of a geographical pain, so that you can encourage other men to go through the same thing. And women as well. We have women killing men. A lot of violence in the Black community. It is time for an African child to heal.